All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is January 16th, guys. We got a bunch of games on the NBA slate. I'm excited to jump into each and every game. We'll give you a lean on the spread and a lean on the total, but if you're looking for my final plays, they will be in the pinned comment down below. If you guys want to ride with me or if you want to fade me, wouldn't blame you if you do, but check out that pinned comment, guys. My final plays will be there. We got a few things to talk about before we jump into the games. First up being MyBookie, guys. MyBookie is sponsoring today's episode. Make sure you use that link in the description if you are looking for a new sportsbook. You can use code GBS for a percent match on your deposit. Check out MyBookie, guys. You can always benefit from another sportsbook out there, but let's get into the first game on the slate here. We have the Charlotte Hornets hosting my Boston Celtics here. Hornets 11-33 on the season. Celtics 32-12 here. This is an 8-point spread. Hornets getting 8 points at home. Total is 231 as of right now. Obviously, this Hornets team is not even on the Celtics level. Last time they played was just a couple days ago. 122-106 was the final score. And then they played earlier in the year as well, late November, and the Celtics won 142-105. So we have two examples of the Celtics team absolutely crushing this Charlotte team, which again should not surprise anyone. Charlotte has lost 8 of their last 10 games. Boston on the other side has won 8 of their last, or has won 8 of their last 10 games here. Jaylen Brown is out. Derek White is questionable here for Charlotte. Gordon Hayward is questionable. Kelly Oubre still out there. This one's straightforward for me. I think 8 isn't asking too much, so I'm going to lean Celtics here, minus the 8 points. In terms of a total, slightly, but I am going to like the under in this game. I could see this one sticking around what it was last game, which was about 120. What did that finish at? 228, which would hit the under here. But I don't see it getting up to that point when the Celtics dropped 140 again, especially with no Jaylen Brown. So I'm going to go under in this one. All right, moving on, we got the Bucks hosting the Pacers. Bucks 9.5-point favorites, 233 total here. This Pacers team's been very good against the spread. In their last 10 games, 7-2-1 against the spread. When at home, though, that is where they're really carrying this weight, and they're on the road today. At home, they're 6-1-1 in their last 8 against the spread. They're only 1-1 in their last 2 away games against the spread here, so that's where they kind of lose that, no pun intended, the pace of what they got going on here. Halliburton's still out here. Miles Turner is questionable. This Bucks team looks like Giannis is upgraded to probable. Drew Holiday is questionable. Chris Middleton's still out. Joe Ingles is out. Bobby Portis is questionable. I think that this might be a psycho crazy sound the alarm pick, but even without Halliburton, I think I'm going to lean Pacers here plus the 9.5 points. Now, I don't think this will ultimately become a final play. If Halliburton was playing and we still had this spread, I think I would lean that way. But just, it's not rock solid for me, right? I do think the only reason I would be leaning this way is because of how high that number is, and that truly is what it comes down to. So I'm going to lean the Pacers, but the thing that I actually really like in this game more than either side would be the under. I have this one in my model, this game going right around the 224 mark. That's almost a 9-point discrepancy from what the Vegas spread is. So I'm going to lean the under here. That definitely has a chance of becoming a final play way more than either side of this game does. Cavs hosting the Pelicans here. Cavs 7-point favorites at home, sitting at a 222.5 total here. These two teams have not played this season. Last time they played was about a year ago, and Cleveland won this game 93-90 here. In the last 10 games, Cleveland 3-6-1 against the spread. They're not doing too hot, but it's not like this Pelicans team is either. 4-6 against spread in their last 10 games, but the over has hit in 11 of the Pelicans' last 16 games, and 13 of the last 20 times these two teams have played, that number has gone over. So I am going to lean the over here. In terms of a spread pick, I guess I go New Orleans. Again, this is similar to last game. Like, I'm going to lean that way because it seems like a juicy number, but I truly don't really think that that becomes a final play. If anything, I like the over more than anything in this game. All right, the Knicks taking on the Raptors. I have a feeling it's going to be a very good game. Knicks 2.5-point favorites here at home. Total 218. These two teams, what is it, 10 days ago or so, played. Knicks won 112-108 in a good game. They also played earlier in the year, late December, and Toronto won 113-106. Those are the only 2 meetings. This is the 3rd meeting they've split so far. This Knicks team 7-3 against spread in their last 10 games, but Toronto 0-1. They haven't covered their last away game in their last 10. Excuse me. They're 4-6 against spread. I do think that this Knicks team is the hotter team. They're playing better basketball, 7-1 straight up in their last 8, whereas Toronto 6-12 in the last 18 games straight up. They're not playing too well. Otto Porter Jr. out. We know that. I think he's out for season. Fred VanVleet questionable here. That's going to be absolutely massive. No injuries for New York. I like the Knicks here, minus 2.5 points. They're playing really good basketball. Now, they haven't had the biggest of competition in their last 10 games or so. Toronto was probably one of the better teams that they played over that span that they did beat. But I do think that they are just playing basketball, good basketball here. I'm going to lean that way. So we got New York. And then in terms of a total, 218. I think I'm going to bite at the over there. I think that just seems like such a low number. I don't want to get caught, taking the bait, but it just does seem like such a low number. And again, last time they played 108 to 112, 113 to 106, so right around those numbers. All right, Wizards hosting the Warriors here. Wizards getting 3 points on their home floor. Total sitting at 234. I've seen a couple sports books at 235, so this one's probably getting up there in terms of which way the line is moving. The Wizards 3-2 in their last 5 games at home here. The Warriors 5-4-1 against the spread in their last 10 games, but they're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. So weird. Steph comes back, and all of a sudden they're not playing that well. This Wizards team not playing much better, like I already mentioned, with their record. Klay Thompson's questionable here for Washington. Bradley Beal is now questionable. Monte Morris is probable. Kerry Jr. is questionable, and then Davis is questionable as well. I think you have a little bit of a garbage game here, and what I'm going to do is just trust the home team. I like the under more than anything in this game. We have a lot of total plays, clearly, that I do lean more than spread plays this today, but I do think that the Wizards are home. They're getting 3 points. This Warriors team, could they go out there and smack around the Wizards if Steph gets hot or something like that? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Warriors is the play, right? Or Washington is the play. But I do think they're the home team. They're getting points. I think both these teams are struggling right now, so I'm just going to lean the home team. It's as simple as that. All right, moving on. We got the Miami Heat taking on the Hawks here. Heat 1-point favorites on the road. Totals at 223 right now. Atlanta 4-6 in their last 10 games here against the spread. Miami playing a little bit better, though, 6-3-1 against the spread. If we remember how bad Miami was against the spread to start the year, they're finally, I guess, starting to turn it around here again. They have been a little bit inconsistent with injuries. Kyle Lowry's out here. Tyler Hero's questionable. Duncan Robinson out for a while now. Clint Capella and Bogdanovich. Clint Capella out. Bogdanovich upgraded to probable here. Miami has won 3 straight. They beat Milwaukee in back-to-back games here. They were favorites of both those games. Giannis, a no-go, right? So you could say that Milwaukee is a good team, but without Giannis, are they? But in this one, I do think that the Hawks at home could surprise a lot of people here. So I'm going to lean Atlanta. I know they don't have the big. I know Miami actually has looked pretty decent, but I'm going to lean the home team again. And then in terms of a total, slightest lean towards the under. I would tell you guys with probably full confidence and transparency that this doesn't become a final play type of game. I didn't love this game when looking at it and doing the research. All right, Utah traveling to Minnesota here. Minnesota 2-point favorites at home. Total 234 in this game here. Utah, they surprised us early on. And then they just started to, you know what? We can drop that. We'll drop a womp womp for Utah. 3-7 in their last 10 games here. They may be starting to right the ship, right? 4-2, or they've covered at least 4 in their last 6 or 7 games in terms of against the spread. But again, they're just not playing very good basketball like they were. Could you make the argument that was Colin Sexton getting injured? Well, I'm not sure. He's questionable tonight. Larry Markkinen's also questionable tonight for Minnesota. Rudy Gobert's questionable. Karl-Anthony Towns is out still, and Anthony Edwards is questionable here. So as much as I'm ragging on Utah, I do think that they are the play tonight. If Larry Markkinen is in and Colin Sexton are in, and Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards are out, I think this line is going to shift pretty drastically. So as of right now, I do lean Utah, even though Minnesota could be kind of right in the ship here. They just have too many injuries to bet on, if you ask me. So I'm going to lean Utah here. And then in terms of a total, 234. Again, that is a high number. I think this game finishes right around 230. So, yeah, I mean, I lean the under, but I could totally see this being pretty damn close to that line. I'm moving on to the the Phoenix Suns taking on the Memphis Grizzlies here. Memphis 10.5-point favorites. Total 228. This Suns team 1-8 in their last 9 games straight up. And they're not playing good on the road. Last 7 games on the road, 1-6. Compared to this Memphis team who is just playing decent basketball here. 5-0 straight up in their last 5 games at home. 9-0 straight up in their last 9 games. Now, do I wish this wasn't a 10.5 point line, no kidding. But I think it'd be crazy to lean any other direction than away from Phoenix as of late. So this will probably stay at a lean. I hate to do that to you guys when I give you, you know, a lean, but I'm telling you I'm not that confident in it. But that just is what it is. I'm not going to BS a pick for the video. This is going to stay at a lean, but if all injuries pan out and guys play, I am going to lean Memphis here. Ja Morant is questionable. Dylan Brooks is questionable. So we do have a couple guys to keep an eye on. But if Ja Morant's a go, this is a lock for me in terms of a lean. A lock of a lean. That doesn't make much sense, but just keep, it's just like I don't even consider Phoenix right now in terms of being bettable, even with 10.5 point spreads, you know. Denver, they had 14.5 points, right? They lost 126-97. So this team is capable of doing anything poorly right now. Then I will say I do like the over, I guess. 228, I could see this, especially if guys are injured and not playing, I could see this being a pretty up-tempo, non-defensive game. All right, last game on the slate here. Lakers 5.5 point favorites as they host the Rockets. Total sitting at 236 here right now. These two teams yet to play this year, which is surprising to me. Houston 0-10 in their last 10 here. Lakers 7-2-1 against the spread, 3-1 in the last 4 at home here. They're playing good basketball. We're going to keep an eye on the injury report because you know LeBron will pop on and off of it. But I like the Lakers here minus the 5.5 points just because similar to what we talked about with Phoenix, I'm just fading the Rockets. Even if they get like a 10-point spread, they're fadeable right now. 5.5 points, totally doable by the Lakers. So we're going to lean that way, guys. And that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys do enjoy and are enjoying your day. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.